All right, let's get right into it. We are talking about maybe the single biggest financial milestone you can hit on your wealth building journey, saving your first $100,000. I know, it's a number that can feel completely impossible, but today we're going to break down the playbook to make it happen, probably a lot faster than you think.
You know that feeling, right? It's like you're stuck with a broke life premium subscription you never signed up for. You're working your tail off, you're trying to do all the right things, but when you look at your savings account, it's just not moving. It's like you're trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom. You pour and you pour, but the progress is just painfully slow. If that hits home for you, you're definitely not alone. And believe it or not, there's a real reason for it.
The legendary investor Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man, said it perfectly. This isn't just in your head, it's a financial fact of life. See, when you're starting from zero, every single dollar you save has to come from your own sweat and hard work. You are doing 100% of the heavy lifting. But something absolutely magical happens the moment you cross that six-figure line.
And that's because $100,000 isn't just a random number. It is a massive turning point. It's the moment the entire game of building wealth fundamentally changes, and your money finally starts pulling its own weight. This, my friends, is where the real fun begins.
The secret sauce here is compound interest. The best way to think about it is like a snowball at the top of a huge, snowy hill. At first, it's tiny, and you have to push it and pack it to get it going. But as it starts to roll, it picks up more and more snow, getting bigger and faster all by itself. Well, at 100 grand, your financial snowball is finally big enough to start gaining some serious, unstoppable momentum.
Let's put some real numbers to this. A pretty standard 10% annual return on a $100,000 portfolio, well, that's $10,000 a year. That's over $800 a month that your money is now earning for you while you sleep. It's like you've hired a little employee that works 24/7, never complains, and just makes you richer. So the question is, how do we get there?
Let's build what I like to call the automatic wealth system. This is all about plugging those annoying leaks in your financial bucket and putting a few simple, powerful strategies to work for you completely in the background.
Okay, let's start with strategy number 9. This one is a foundational piece of the puzzle, and it's amazing how many people just overlook it.
We're talking tax optimization. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Every single dollar you put into a traditional 401k or an IRA lowers your taxable income for the year. So let's say you make 50 grand and you put 10 grand into your 401k. You only pay income tax on $40,000. It's literally like getting an immediate discount on every dollar you invest. It's a no-brainer.
All right, strategy number 8 is coming up, and I gotta say, this might be the easiest win on the entire list. Why? Because it is, and I mean this literally, free money. I'm talking about your employer's 401k match. Look, if your company offers to match your contributions and you are not taking every last penny of that match, you are turning down a raise. It's that simple. You're just leaving guaranteed money sitting right there on the table.
Think about it this way. A really common match is 50 cents for every dollar you put in. That is a guaranteed, instantaneous 50% return on your investment. Tell me where else you can get a 50% return on day one. You can't. It doesn't exist. You have to take this money.
Okay, on to number 6. This one requires a little bit of discipline, but it is absolutely crucial if you want to supercharge your long-term growth.
You have got to reinvest every single dividend. Don't take it as cash. Let's look at the S&P 500. Historically, its total return has been about 10.7% per year, but that's with dividends reinvested. You know what it is without them? Just 6.6%. Over a few decades, that difference is hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars. It's the fuel for your snowball. Okay, we've plugged the leaks. We've got the automatic stuff working. Now let's talk about the big wins. These are the heavy hitters, the strategies that have the power to truly change your financial life and separate the people who build serious wealth from those who just kind of get by. First up, and this is huge, you have to avoid lifestyle inflation. Here's the rule. From now on, every time you get a raise, a bonus, any new money, immediately set it up so that at least half of that new cash is automatically invested. You have to do it before you get used to spending it. This one trick ensures your wealth grows way faster than your spending habits.
Next, and this is so important, you have to fight the urge to time the market. The data on this is just staggering. Over a 30-year period, if you miss just the 10 best days in the stock market, your total returns would be cut nearly in half. Half! Your job isn't to be a market timing genius. Your job is just to stay invested consistently over the long haul. And now, we've made it.
The number one strategy. The single biggest lever you can possibly pull. The one move that can free up more cash to invest than pretty much everything else we've talked about combined.
And it is optimizing your housing costs. For almost everybody, their rent or mortgage is their biggest expense every single month. And that means it is also their single biggest opportunity to save a massive amount of money. Getting this one cost under control can dramatically speed up your journey to that first 100K.
Just how big of an impact can this have? Well, let's say you're currently spending $2,000 a month on housing, and you find a way to get that down to $1,200. You just freed up $800 a month. That's almost $10,000 a year that you can now pour directly into your investments, supercharging that snowball.
And look, this doesn't mean you have to live with 3 roommates for the rest of your life. Think of it as a strategic, temporary sacrifice. Maybe you get a roommate for a few years. Maybe you move to a slightly less expensive neighborhood for a while. Or maybe you explore things like house hacking, where you rent out a room in your own place. It's all about front-loading the hard work to buy yourself freedom way, way faster.
So as you can see, none of these strategies really work in isolation. They all link together to create this powerful, unstoppable system. It's a system that builds financial momentum and makes that $100,000 goal feel less like a far-off dream and more like something that's just gonna happen.
So let's recap the system real quick. First, you capture all the free money. That's your tax savings and your employer match. Second, you maximize your growth by investing consistently and always reinvesting those dividends. Third, you stay in the game by automating everything and not making dumb mistakes like trying to time the market. And finally, you fuel the whole engine by freeing up massive cash flow from your biggest expenses, like housing.
When you really think about it this way, it stops being about sacrifice or deprivation. It's not about what you're giving up today, it's about what you're giving to the person you're going to be in the future. Every dollar you invest is a gift to them, a gift of freedom, a gift of security, and a gift of having options.
So as we wrap up, the question really isn't just about how you're going to save $100,000. The real question is much bigger than that. It's what kind of gift are you going to give your future self, starting